Hey guys, and welcome back to another weekend roundup video. Today we're going to take a look at the mods that were released in the Giants Mod Hub for the week of January 20th through January 26th. And this week was a fairly light week compared to the last 3 weeks prior. We only had 12 mods released in the Mod Hub this week, and quite frankly, 4 of those were Giants mods themselves. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Mod Hub and take a closer look at the mods that were submitted, or released, I should say. So we had the return of the Valtra T234WR edition. This was the World Record edition that was released in Farm Sim fairly early in Farm Sim 17. Its claim to fame is its top speed. It is a screamer and can really fly around the map fairly quickly. And we've got the return of the Liebherr L538 wheel loader. This was a standard vehicle in Farm Sim 19. Then we had 2 mods that were updated this week. The only 2 placeables in this week's releases were 2 updates from previously released mods. We have the Old Machinery Shed by Vertex Design and the Root Crop Storage Building by Dogface. We're not going to look at those too closely, but I do want to take a look and see if we can easily turn the light switch on and off. I believe the Old Machinery Shed was the mod where I had problems turning the lights on, and the Root Crop Storage Building was definitely the one where I teleported into it and couldn't get out when I tried to use the visit function. Had a pair of cultivators. First we had a Power Harrow Lemkin and the Amazon cultivator here. A return of the classic barrel weight. This is not a Giants mod, but it is a user or a modder mod. It is the old classic barrel weight. Great to have around. Got a different side mower, Kuhn side mower. We're going to take a look at this one and see how it differs from the in-game option. We've got a nice bale trailer. Interesting tipper here with lots of different options, so we're going to enjoy taking a look at that. The return of the JCB 325T from Farm Sim 17. This was the skid steer of choice. Actually, it was, well, the only skid steer that was in the base game. We had the JCB 325T with tracks and wheels. And then we've got yet another plow by Giant Software, the Kuhn Master 153. So with that, let's just go ahead and get started. We're going to take a look at the vehicles first. Then we're going to move over to the implements, and we're going to wrap up with just a quick look at the 2 placeables. Let's get this party started with the Valtra T234WR edition. Found under tractors. I believe it's under medium tractors. Here we are, $215,000 for 250 horsepower. 80 miles per hour top speed on this thing. Fast track is 38 miles per hour at 235 horsepower at $196,000. Gonna take a look here at our options. Pretty much, that's what you get. You get the Nokian tires. You get the whatever that color is. Not really sure what you would call that color. I guess some type of light green. And then you've got the stickers and logos all over the place. Go ahead and take a lease at this. What's this thing? Leasing it is pretty expensive. Almost $11,000 to lease it initially. $21.50 per day and $45.15 per operating hour after that. Here it is, guys. And it is, like I said, a screamer. It will get around the map pretty darn quick. But the biggest problem, I would say, with this particular tractor is its overall lack of pulling power. It is pretty clear that the transmission has been optimized for speed, and its torque curve and its ability to actually pull things with any great weight is pretty well compromised, I should say. We've got the pedal to the floor. We've only been able to get up to 50 going up that hill, for example. Now, if we come here on a fairly flat, now we do have a little bit of an incline here. We are able to pick up the speed. But even just as you can see going up that hill, we pretty much sacrifice performance, or pulling performance, for speed here. Let's quickly bring our way back around to the shop, keeping an eye on that speedometer. We might keep this tractor around for a little bit during our review today, just to see how it might handle a few different implements and tools. But if you are going to be needing to run around real quick, this is a good option to get around the map quickly. This might not be the best option to haul, let's say, a full load of grain to a sell point on the other side of the map. You might find yourself really limited when it comes to the hills. Got working hazards, strobes or flashers, left blinker, right blinker, and of course we have our front headlights, work lights all around. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the next vehicle that was released by Giants. It is the Liebherr L538. We're going to obviously find that over here at the wheel loader section. And now we have two wheel loader options. We have the in-game New Holland W190D and the Liebherr L538. Also have released already the JCB wheel loader. So now we have the two wheel loaders from Farm Sim 17, the Liebherr and the JCB, and the New Holland wheel loader here that came in 19. As far as options goes, we have the Trelleborg tires in standard configuration, front twins, wide tires, and standard tires. Interesting enough, the wide tires, the tread is a lot not as tall, not as thick, worn down. Then we have the Michelin in standard configuration. 155 horsepower, 24 miles per hour top speed, $127,000 to purchase, $6,500 to lease, $1,277 per day, and $2,681 per operating hour. Thing. And while we're at it, we might as well just get a wheel bucket just to see how this thing looks with the silage fork. Go, guys. Pretty good looking, given the fact that it is a 17 conversion over from Giants. I think the little warning label there is a little bit looks a little bit out of place slightly. Pretty good clarity on the manufacturer's plate there and everything. Front lights, rear lights, beacon. There are hazards, front and back, left blinker, right blinker. all of that is working. I should say the Valtra over there also has the rear drive capability. We'll do that here in a bit. I always forget about that and never really make use of it personally. So, this does have a rear hitch. I'm a little curious if this is a functional rear hitch or not. Go ahead and give it a try with just a little trailer. Let's do, got a ring on it. Something a little bit bigger that has a ring. Let's go ahead and piece this up and just see. Can we attach this? Indeed we can. Okay. That makes this maybe a little bit more useful, depending on how you're going to use it. The fact that you can attach it to at least a trailer with a ring hitch. Let's try one more trailer here. Let's try the ball version of the AgriLiner. Just from looking at the design of the hitch, you would say that this wouldn't work because it's a pin hitch as opposed to a ball. I have seen times before where, while visually it is a pin hitch, it would attach. There you go. That one will not hook up. It does look like we can attach the pins when we have a hitch that is basically just a ring we have here on this particular trailer. Next up, we've got the JCB skid steer Giants JCB 325T. That here in the vehicles under skid steers. And of course, we've got the New Holland, which is in game in 19, the L218 and the C232. Got the JCB here. Got options. We've got the 325T in basically forestry mode with all of the protections and such forth. Wheels are tracks. That is our only choice. We have a forestry option for... I tell you, I don't use these skid steers too often. Does not look like we do. So it's an interesting and a nice addition to the skid steer lineup from Giants, is to have this JCB with the forestry protection here. Say Forest Master right there on it. Go ahead and buy this. And while we're at it, let's get the tools. Skid steers. And look at a couple of these forestry options. Oh, look at that. So the JCB does come with some JCB specific implements also. So we've got the Paladin, bucket, forks, spikes, and bale grabs, and stump grinder. And then we've got DFM forestry equipment, and now we've got with it the JCB bale spike. Go ahead and take a look at these. You have the brush and log fork, JCB variant, newer fork, 710 liter capacity, pallet fork, shovel, and the stump grinder for the JCB branding. Now let's take a look and compare the prices on these. Got $4,500 for the stump grinder here, compared to $2,500 for the Paladin stump grinder. And the Paladin we can change color on. JCB we cannot. Got the brush log fork, $1,200 JCB. Got $2,000 for the brushed log fork in the Paladin. Again, we can change the color on that one. Pallet fork, $700. $800 on the Paladin. So they are kind of comparable in price. High dump bucket, 1,200 liters. Versus universal shovel, 12,000 liters. $800 versus $4,000. So, but this one has a unique capability where it will allow you to not only allow you to basically dump from this point as opposed to just this point here. So they kind of serve two different purposes. You have the bale spike, $600 for the Paladin. $600 for the JCB. I never really liked this one though. Never seemed like it really held very good. And then we've got the round bale grab, $1,700. But we do not have a round bale grab for the JCB branded equipment. Get a little closer look at these things. JCB, the section there does impact visibility a bit. Then again, you would expect that it would have some impact. Of course, you use this left mouse button, up and down, and left and right. Those are the only two options for handling your equipment. Front headlights, rear headlights, and top working lights. I have to say the top working lights don't appear that they do a darn thing. Zoom out here. Let's get first stage lights, rear lights, top lights, and the top lights are on, but the top lights did not change. Let's zoom out a little bit. Front lights. Okay, so we can see the light cast. Rear lights, we can see the light cast. Top lights, it didn't change. So top lights are doing absolutely nothing visually, it appears. I would think, even though it's 11:30 in the morning in game time, I would think that yeah, we would see light cast differently if they were doing something. So with the log grab, we've got, of course, our up, down, and our angle. And if we right mouse button and we go up and down, we have the open and close of the jaws. And let's check out manure fork. I suspect is going to operate the same way. We're going to try out the stump grinder. Then we're just going to clear this stuff out of the way. For the cultivators, stump grinder, we can turn it on. Angle it down, left and with our left button, up and down with our left button. And our right button will control side to side, move the mouse left and right. And if we go up and down, it will articulate the stump grinder at a different point. We can articulate it all the way down, and then we can rotate this down even further if we wish to. Got all ranges of motion on. Alright, so let me reset this, and I will be right back with you guys, and we'll take a look at these cultivators. So next up, we've got the Lemken Zircon 10-/300 Power Harrow by STV Modding. Take a look at this thing here in the shop. So if we go to Tools and Power Harrows, we've got the Lemken Zircon 10-/300 Power Harrow for $10,500. It has a 3-meter working width, 9 miles per hour working speed, 120 horsepower requirement. Now let's compare that a little bit to the in-game Power Harrows. Got the Rabe MKE 300 coming in at $15,000. Once again at 3 meters, 9 miles per hour, and only 95 horsepower. So this one is a little bit more in the horsepower intensity range. It does have field markers on it. And then we've got the Kuhn HR 4004 Power Harrow, which is actually 4 meters, 9 miles per hour, and only 100 horsepower for that particular one. And this one can, of course, be used in combination with some other Kuhn equipment like the BTF 4000 seeder and the DC 401 seed hopper. Cultivate and seed all in one pass. It's a Kuhn option. But it's hard to shake a stick at the Lemken with $4,500 basically, cheaper than the Rabe option. But you do need a little bit more horsepower to work with this thing. Take a look at it here in the shop. You have no real configuration options. It comes in the Lemken blue color with the field markers. That's what you get. Let's go ahead and lease this thing up. Take a little closer look at it here. Graphics on it, fairly nice. Fairly straightforward. Pretty nice looking. What we're going to do is we're going to take this Valtra down and just see. Remember, this Valtra is 250 horsepower. The Lemken here only requires 120. I've got a Valtra in, a smaller Valtra, set up down here with this same cultivator. I'm going to basically see how both of these Valtras work with respect to this cultivator, our Power Harrow. A little curious to see if this tractor, with its limited actual pulling power, is going to be able to actually pull this thing at the full 9 miles per hour that it's rated at. Go ahead and jump on in the Valtra in here. Just the base version. Lower it down. Of course, Z will change the ridge markers. Now, I didn't even turn it on. It just turned on by itself. Try this again. If I lower it down, then I turn it on. Got PTO shaking in there. See the tines spinning away in there. You do Z, lower the ridge markers. You get marking texture there. See again, we will toggle over. Skipping a little bit there. Ridge markers. Not quite extending all the way down to the ground. But you can see we are going at 9 miles per hour without any difficulty whatsoever here with the Valtra in. Hire worker, so you can see. Alright. Set this guy up. We're gonna have a little fun cultivation race. Lower this one down, turn it on, and able to pull at 9 miles per hour quite well. You can use this particular tractor quite easily to pull this little cultivator or Power Harrow should you wish. You can really tool around the map pretty quick with this thing. Alright. Let's go over here. We've got the Amazon cultivator set up over here. The reason to jump all the way back up to the shop. Take a look at it. So we have the Amazon Centis 6003-2TX Super cultivator. Mod is by Christi136. It is in the cultivator section, and this particular cultivator requires 300 horsepower. Why we've got the big Voltra set up here. Take a look at it in the shop. If we go to cultivators, scroll all the way over to the mod section. There it is, the Amazon Centis 6003-2TX Super. It is $43,000 for 6-meter working width, 9 mile per hour working speed, and a 300 horsepower power requirement. Take a look and compare that with maybe some other cultivators in its general size range. Got the Horse Tiger 6DT for $39,000, so it is cheaper. Same horsepower requirement, same working width, same miles per hour. You have the Amazon Cetus 8003-2TX Super, $68,000, but it is an 8-meter working width, 400 horsepower requirement. Stara is the next down from the horse. Astra Laser. It has the benefit of being able to actually seed grass, oilseed radish, or canola, but only has a working width of 4.9 meters, 9 miles per hour, and a horsepower requirement of 220. It appears that the Cetus 6003 is right there in line with the horse as far as price, just a few $1,000s more. Same horsepower requirement. So if you like the Amazon colors, this might be a good choice for you. There are no options in the store. You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. I've said before, $43,000 to buy, almost $2,200 to lease initially, $430 per day, $930 per operating hour. Take a look at this thing. Of course, we've got a unfold animation. Out of the bush here, so you can see it. And this is a beastly looking cult, to say the least. Throw it down there, the wheels flip up. And of course, we've got the wheels on the front. Got the big hooks. We've got some discs, and then at the back we've got some rollers going on. Got this thing, this Voltra. What is this? This Voltra is right here, the large tractors. Big one. 350 horsepower. What we've got here. Should have looked at the garage. $350 horsepower. And we're having a problem pulling this thing. Now, of course, we do have a bit of an incline. We're having more of a problem with possibly grip. Like the front wheels are slipping on here and everything. I said this cultivator is a beast. We're going to need quite the powerful tractor to pull this thing around. Even on slightest of inclines here, we are slipping pretty good. Take that horsepower requirement with a little bit of grain of salt, possibly. See how well it does going down the hill. Jump in. Let the hired helpers still drive. See, so we can see speed on it. Going down the hill. Should be the full 9 miles per hour, I hope. Dirties up pretty quick, at least as far as the tires go. We're getting just 8 miles per hour down the hill. with this 350 horsepower tractor, even though the Supra here is only rated or ranked at needing 300 horsepower. Quite interesting. All right, let's go ahead and jump up here to the shop, and we're going to take a look at the Lizard barrel weight. Good old classic Lizard barrel weight. This mod is by the Swedish Bona team. It is a Lizard 550 kilogram weight. Provides you color selection and is a very low price of just completely blind. Where are the weights at? Let's see, where'd they go? Totally blind, totally blind. So, $250 for this weight. The cheapest in-game weight is 650 kilograms in weight at $600. Now we have the 550 kilogram barrel for just $250. A perfect front weight or rear counterweight for the cheap-minded farmer, the starting out farmer, so to speak. Let's go ahead and get this thing in bright John Deere yellow. See it. We don't want to be, losing this thing. Go. I mean, what are we going to do other than look at this thing and basically just hook it up and see if it squats the tractor a little bit. We're going to go ahead and pick up, let's pick up the Fendt in the standard configuration, 110 horsepower. Look up to our front weight. We're going to go ahead and use the Fendt to also look at the next mod. You see it's a little bit of squat, so we are picking up some weight. Now what I really wish we had in 19 were functioning scales. And scales in 19. 17, we could go and drop this weight over at the BGA, for example, and it would read out, the weight that it had. Let's go ahead and take a look at the very next mod we've got, which is the Kuhn GMD 2811 side mower. Here under tools and mowers. Now in game we've got the GMD 4411 rear mower. Comes in at 80 horsepower, 4.3 meter working width, 13 miles per hour. Now we've got the Kuhn GMD 2811. It is smaller, in at only 2.7 meters, 13 miles per hour, and only 37 horsepower. It is the smaller version of the other in-game mower here. Take a look. I want to see if this thing looks like it also, when it's folded out, it's folded back. That makes for a pretty big turning radius, but it's not near as bad as this one here with 4.7 meters. Go ahead and buy one of these up. And we'll buy one of these while we're at it, just for comparison purposes. Go back to this one and talk about its lease cost. So $8,000 to buy, $408 to lease, $80 per day, $168 per operating hour. Compare that to this one. $816 initial lease cost, $160 per day, and $336 per hour. See where we got in front here. We've got the in-game Kuhn. Graphics look a little bit different. I haven't looked to see how they compare in real life. Pretty darn good. Go ahead and hook up to this tractor and maybe give it a little bit of a spin down here, down the hill. See how the mowing action works. Looking for a, oh, look at that. cloth do that on the in-game one? I don't think it does. Look at that. That's pretty nice. Blade spinning down there. Lower down. Can't unhook it until we fold it. I want to see how the in-game one works. Sweet. I've used the in-game one, I think, but I don't remember seeing that cloth action going. Oh, look, that one's boring. So this mod is by 50KEDA, and I'll tell you guys, I hope this mod author basically mods this version and puts that cloth action going on. That was pretty cool. That one's pretty boring. So this one does have a working rear brake light. Let's check that. See how this one works? As far as those rear lights go. Rear light. Yep. Light works. Alright. Look at that cloth just flopping around there. That is really nice. We go down here. A little bit of a grass clearing down here. It's this area in the past for a couple things. Fold it, unfold it. Or down. Turn it on. And look, we get the cloth moving around a little bit. Cloth in front's being folded up underneath it. That is pretty cool, guys. Say the least. I think that is pretty awesome. Yeah, I wish this guy would come out with a bigger version to match the in-game tune with this cloth action. Pretty neat. Alright, next up, we've got ourselves a bale trailer. This motor up here. And then we'll just take a look at that. Alright. Next up on the list is a bale trailer. Just no brand. Looks like it is labeled bale trailer 9,75M by the Swedish Bona modding team. Once again, go under tools and we go to baling technologies. Typically where we'll find these trailers at. We've got the bale trailer, $12,800. Change the color options. Trailer itself. Change the rim color. Whatever we want. Warning sign, slow moving vehicle sign on the back. Got Trelleborg tires or Michelin tires. There are two options there. As configured with both our main color change, our rim color changed, and our wheels changed. We come in at $12,900. $657 to lease, $129 per day, and $270 per operating hour. Oh, whoa. Go ahead and lease this one up. And let's compare it to maybe the Flegel DPW 210 in-game bale trailer. It is far cheaper than the in-game trailer. Of course, the in-game trailer has these racks on the side, these frames, this frame kind of hold the bales in. Let's go ahead and get one of these just to compare size-wise. Some people might not like the Flegel because it is a dolly trailer. It's like this trailer is just about the same length. Have straps in here. Pretty good. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to take a break. I'm going to load this trailer up with a load of bales, 3 high, and then basically see how many bales can we get stacked on this thing, and drive it around a little bit, see how it handles. Because sometimes these trailers, if you get them stacked, they get a bit top heavy. See how this thing handles on the road with a full stack of bales. I'll be right back with you guys. So I decided to go ahead and try 4 bales high because I went and pulled it out from my mods folder, my mods archive, this bale fork, which was in the mods hub, the giant mod hub, a couple weeks ago. So it was in the weekend roundup from, I think, about 2 weeks ago, maybe. So we used it to load up our trailer. Now, while the first stack was a bit not so pretty, we got the other 4 stacks, or the other 5 stacks, on here fairly well. Got a total of 28 bales on here, and I went and picked up a case Puma 200 because it has 245 horsepower. The reason I got this one at 245 is I'm going to pull this bale trailer up the hill there, see what kind of speed we get. We're going to drive it back down here, hook up our Ultra from today, and see what we can get pulling these bales up the hill. On our hazards and our beacons, we don't want to knock anybody over. Going up the hill, we are down to 14 miles per hour. Now we're starting to climb yet again. We're going to go ahead and bring this up here to the animal dealer, make a turn, and come back down the road here. I did notice this trailer turning radius does appear to be fairly large. In fact, right now I'm turned about as sharp as I can go. I can't turn any sharper. Make that corner. Overall, the trailer feels fairly stable. Doesn't look like it's wobbling back and forth too much. Let's do a little tank slap action here. It's rocking. If we worked on it, it wouldn't be too hard to make this thing trip or tip, but it does not feel overly unstable like some of the trailers I've seen in 17 were when you stacked them up this high. As long as you drive reasonable, you should be able to get around fairly well here. As I nearly tip it. Tracks. Alright. Let's unhook this thing. Hook it up to the Voltra and just, this is more of a test of the Voltra to see what its pulling power is up that hill with a little bit of a load. Voltra comes in at 250 horsepower. Nothing different. Didn't have a front weight on the other one. Front weight on this one either. Let's see how well it does. This might not be the best tractor to pull a load of bales anyway. because we don't want to be going around corners at high speeds by accident. 20, 19, 17, 18, 17. So we took it same 17 miles per hour. So I seem to think that we started going up the hill maybe a little bit quicker than we did the other tractor. Oh, careful. Alright guys, that is the bale trailer 9,75M by the Swedish Bona modding team. Next up, we've got the Crampy Bandit 800 by Kirsho. Let's go ahead and jump down here to the shop. Take a look in the store. We go to tools and trailers. And we've got the Crampy Bandit 800, $69,000. Sorry, has a capacity of 42,850 liters. Holds all of our standard crops, including wheat, barley, oat, canola, sunflowers, soybean, corn, potatoes, sugar beets, sugarcane, seed. We've got total mixed rations. We've got chaff. We've got forage, wood chips, silage, straw, hay, grass, solid fertilizer, manure, pig food, and lime. This is a trailer with a walking floor. It's got a belt there to help it unload. Change color choice. We've got two choices of green, and then we've got red and black. Charcoal looking. We can change the capacity, 28,400 liters to 38,000. We get some side rails on there. 42,850 or 29,000 with a lid. So let's get a couple options of these. We got Trelleborg tires. We got Michelin tires. And those are our choices. So let's get the 29,000 variant here in black. Let's get the standard variant here in red. Let's get the next up 38,000 capacity in dark green with Trelleborgs. And we'll get the last one in a lighter green with Trelleborg tires. Take a look at these things here. Oh, the lid does not have a collision on it, so that's good to know. Got the crampy mud guard down there, or flap. I don't know, mud flap or whatever you want to call that. Let's go ahead and hook up here with our case and take a look at the unloading action on this, as well as the opening and closing of the lid there. We hit in to open the cover. The cover folds open and folds down. Got a mouse control, but I don't see it moving anything. And let's come over here outside of the shop, and we'll do a force unload and see how it does. You can see we've got our hazards, our beacons. The little rear flap does indeed move a little bit. Not a whole lot, but it does flop a little bit there in the motion. Control I. Force unload. does not tip. It basically has a walking floor that would pull the product out, and the rear gate lifts up. So this would be a pretty interesting trailer for a sell point or a shed that has a fairly low clearance on it. Does have a front and rear axle on the trailer do steer. Have steering axles. So you know, the unload action. Now I think that the left mouse button movement is for the front gate here on these trailers that have the larger sides, the higher sides. Look here. And if we left mouse button, yeah, and move up, down, does indeed move that. If you're using this, let's say behind a forage wagon or a forager, lower that down and then it'd be able to shoot into the trailer easier. Back out, that back up. You have hose attachments on this particular mod. Hose, power, and air, I suppose. Very nice overall model. Take a look in the shop and just compare it to other trailers of like size. So 42, so this one ranged from capacity again. Went from 28,000 capacity to 42,000 capacity. Take a look here. Joskin Brand Space is $35,000 for 31,000 capacity. Crampy Bandit 750 is 39,000 capacity at $51,000. So this trailer at $69,000 is a bit more expensive than maybe the 750 here, and even the Agriliner at $45,000. $5,000. So it is more expensive than all the other trailers really in its capacity range. But given the fact that it has so many variants, we've got the short trailer here for something that's got a short height clearance. The fact that it doesn't tip vertically, it just has the gate that opens up, and then the bed that helps unload it. That is going to be a big deal over some of these other trailers that actually tip up. This one also, I do not believe, tips up. Another one of those walking floor trailers. Of course, the Joskins, it does lift. So you need a fair bit of height on that one, as does the Agriliners. They all lift vertically. There you go. If you're looking for something that needs a bit of capacity, has a bit of some configuration options, and will work with a fairly low height clearance, then this trailer may be just for you. So we've got one more implement here before we move on to the two placeables, and that is the Kuhn Varimaster 153 plow. Go here to Tools and Plows. Going over here, we've got from Giant Software, got the Varimaster 153. Comes in at 2 meters, 7 mile per hour working width, and 120 horsepower at $22,000. So we've got the Salford plow, 2 meters, 7 miles per hour, 85 horsepower. The Agramaz POH5, 2.5 meters, 7 miles per hour, 180 horsepower. So we've already gone above the horsepower level of the 120. But Let's take a look at this one. Okay, let's go ahead and buy that one up. $22,000 to buy, no configuration options, $1,122 to lease, $220 per day, and $462 per operating hour. Got the Salford. Then buy it up just as a comparative to the two plows. Let's see if I can move this trailer out of the way with the telehandler. I don't think they're going to have a compatible hitch, but oh, I'll have to use the tractor to get it out of the way. Take a look at that. See how these two really compare against each other. Both have the same working width, so I'm really wondering, why would you pick one over the other? Given the fact that one has a higher horsepower requirement. Here is the Coon. And it appears to allow you to turn the hard plow. B option. It is a rotatable plow. Four bottom plow. Drop it. Let's see. This one doesn't turn. The one thing about the Salford is it's a trailed plow, in that it's got a wheel back there to help offset the weight of the actual plow itself. So you could use it with tractors that don't so much have a front weight, or if you don't want to buy a front weight. But it does not have the capability of rotating. So in theory, if you were going to plow this the proper way, you would have to basically make circles around the field. Whereas with this one, you could make up and down passes rotating the plow each particular time. That would be the main differences between the two. Is this one does not rotate, has the upper wheel, sometimes called the nurse wheel, in the back to help carry some of the weight of the plow. Whereas this one, all the weight of the plow is going to be on the 3-point attachment, which is going to pretty much require, probably in most tractors, a front counterweight. As once again, it is a Coon Varimaster 153 from Giant Software. Let's go ahead and shut this down, and let's take a look at the two placeables that showed up today as updates in the Giants Mod Hub. Go to placeables, and first up we've got the root crop storage building, which is here under silos. Mod is by Dogface. Let's put it up here at our, place that one down. Tab up here to the tractor and take a look at it. So in the update log, he says that it was updated, added multiplayer support, and fixed minor graphics issues. That was for version 1.0.0.1, whereas the version that's on the Mod Hub right now is 1.0.0.2. Not really sure what the differences are, but what I do want to check is, let's visit this thing. And we are no longer being teleported inside the potato heap. That is great news. So we can now safely visit, and we land out here in front. Great. Then we've got the old machine sheds by Vertex Design. That was also updated today. Let's go to sheds, and we've got the two old machine shed options. Let's put one down here. The other one down right here beside it. One of them has doors. The other one does not. Both have lights in them. And have switches, or do these lights come on automatically at night? Oh, it's a light switch. It's on. off. Okay. Now, let's go see. I don't remember if this is the shed that I had problems turning the lights on and off with or not. Basically, I had a building where I couldn't turn the lights on and off because it kept causing the door to open and close. Let's see here. Is this the particular one or not? Close gate. Lights on. It's off. So if light trigger is way back here, and the gate trigger, I'm not getting the gate. So you kind of still a little sensitive, I think. Seems you do best if you get way out here to the side to turn the lights on and off, as opposed to here to get the gate open. Not a lot to be said here. It's the old machine shed. It says in the update he fixed the light texture. Guys, that completes our weekend roundup for the week of January 20th through January 25th. Come on back next week as we once again cover the mods released in the Giants Mod Hub for next week. And the last update that we saw in the testing thread as of yesterday, Friday, January 25th, was I believe there were 219 mods pending testing. We have seen a few mods, a few map mods show up in the testing thread. So far, none have been released. So what's up with that? So until next time, happy farming.